Okay, guys, I think that we can get started, and the rest who will be joining us later can catch up. Of course, as is with any Gis Cloud webinars, this will also be recorded, so you will be able to access it later on for any reference or just to recap on certain things, and of course, catch up if you are coming in late. So for today's webinar, we wanted to show you some of the improvements that we made in our form builder for our mobile data collection solution. For the ones who are already using Gis Cloud, you probably already noticed the changes, but for you who are new here, today's session will show you how easy and quick it is to actually get started with the data collection and how you can utilize our solution for just that. My name is Antonia, and here with me is Domagoj. We are both solution consultants here in Gis Cloud. Hi, Domagoj.
Hi, Antonia. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Great. So without further ado, maybe we can switch to our agenda. You can see that we have a lot of things that we need to address today. So we will start with a short introduction and go directly into live demo presentation, because we like our application to speak for themselves. We don't want to show a lot of slides and talk into the wind. We like to go straight into the apps and show you how easy it is to work with GIS Cloud solutions. And of course, in the end, we will have questions and answers section. Of course, during this entire webinar, you are more than welcome to leave us a question. You don't need to wait until the end. Of course, the questions will be addressed at the end, but you can be freely to write them at any moment during our presentation. Okay, so what is today's topic is, like I said, we will be discussing the mobile data collection solution. The mobile data collection solution comes in two parts. We have mobile data collection portal as well as the mobile data collection mobile app. The first one, the MDC portal, is the web-based application which is used to actually build and design your survey and then share that survey with your field workers, and they will be accessing it through their mobile phones, through our mobile application. In today's demo, we will actually go through both options so you can see the entire workflow and how you can set it up. So I think that that's quite an introduction. So let's just switch to the live demo segment. So Domagoj, can you get us started?
Sure, thank you, Antonia. So today I'm going to focus more on this web part, on the creation of the project. And for that, I'm going to use mobile data collection portal, while Antonia will then show you how you can open that form and collect the data out in the field using the mobile device. So let's get started. The first step is, of course, to log in to your GIS Cloud account using your credentials.
Of course, if you don't have one, you can easily sign up for free.
Yep. And once we log in, we just need to wait for a second. And then the next page that we will see is GIS Cloud Manager. So GIS Cloud Manager is basically an administrative app where you can add additional users, you can manage them, you can purchase the licenses, but also in this app, you can access other applications that we have. So since we want to focus on creating projects and collecting the data, we will go on the right and open Mobile Data Collection Portal. And when the portal opens, we will see the full list of all of our projects that we have from before, or some sample projects that we provided for you when you created an account. And we can open any of those projects, look at the data, edit them, and so on and so on. But since we want to create a completely new project from the scratch, we will click on Create New Project button, and then the form builder will open. So the form builder is basically the main part of the mobile data collection portal. And in here, you can create your customizable form. Some of you who are maybe our older users will notice some of the changes that we made in this form builder. And I have to say that it's more intuitive now and more user-friendly. But if some of you are our new users or even do not have an account, you can just take a look and watch the steps that I'm taking, and it will be much easier for you on how you can create your first project, or you can click down here and take a look at our manual and a tutorial on how you can create your first project. So the first step for every project creation is to give it some sort of a name. And today we're going to focus more on road inspections. So let's name our project road pavement inspection. We can set some description for our collector, so it's more recognizable.
In any case, the description comes in handy when you are dealing with multiple projects and maybe different timeframes, like Tomo were writing just now for this particular month. So you can more easily go through your multiple projects that you have.
Yeah, definitely. And every project can be a point project, line project, or a polygon one. So for this use case, we're gonna just stick to a point. And this is it basically. So on the right, we have those field types that we can input and create the project that we're gonna use. If we click on this select list, we have a full list of all of the field types that we have available in Gis Cloud, and we will walk you through each and one of those. But for the start, let's just use a simple text field, and we will use this text field to name the street. Each field can have different kinds of field options that are attached to it. So for this field, I will make it persistent, which means that the system will remember my last input, and then it will automatically populate the next field entry with that value. So I will make it persistent and required. The required field means that basically collector cannot send the data unless this field is populated. And let's add a new field, and the second field is going to be a number field. And in a number field, you can only enter numeric values. So I will use it for road ID. And as before, I will set some additional options. So I will set it to be unique, which means that in this field, we can only, the values cannot be repeated, which means that they must be unique. And we can make them to be unique for this one particular field, or we can make them to be unique across other fields as well. So let's just stick to one field, and let's add date and time. So with the date and time, you can manually select date or time or both, and we will use it for date of inspection. We will make it required. So our collector cannot send the data unless it's populated.
And this comes in handy for some sort of data quality. Definitely required fields means that you will not receive any kind of empty entries and things like that.
Yeah, it is. So for the next field, let's use a select list. Select list is basically a drop-down list with some predefined values. So if you want to make sure, so if you have a lot of values that you need to enter, or some of those will repeat, you can make the collection for your collector much easier. So he can just open this list and select one value, and we will use it to name the inspector. So let's, for those additional values, let's add Antonia, let's add Mark and Tom. Also, you can add as many values as you want to, or simply delete them if you don't need them. And yeah, let's make this field required as well. Okay, after we close it, let's add another field. And another field will be checkboxes. So what's the difference between checkboxes and select list? So in the select list, you can select only one value, while in checkboxes, you can select multiple values. And let's use checkboxes for payment distress types. We will set those distress types to be cracking, depression, oil spot, we can also add small bump and something other. So once we've done that, now what we want to do, if we have some other distress type, we want to make sure that we know what is it. So what I will do now is I will make a dependent field, which will open only in case if payment distress type is set to be other. So we can use a simple text field for that, and let's call it other distress. And let's make it dependent. So we will add a dependency, and the rule will say that this item is going to open, this field will basically only open if payment distress type is equal to other. Okay, and this is it. We can close it, and we can add another field. So this time it's going to be radio button, and we will use it for severity. So the difference between radio buttons and check boxes is that basically, and select list is basically that in radio buttons, you can have a menu of predefined values already listed in the form. So that means that, for example, in select list, you need to click on the menu and then select one of the items from the menu, while in radio buttons, you will see the full values already in the form. So it saves you one click. And let's make severity to be high, moderate, and low. And as we did for payment distress type field, we can do the same for severity field. So I will make another field which is going to be dependent on severity. So again, I will use a simple text field, and it will say action needed. So I want to know if severity is set as high, I want to know what kind of action do we need to take to fix something, and then in that case I will make a dependent field. So let's make a dependency which will say if severity is equal to high, then only in this case this field will open. So we can also add some description for for the field workers. So let's say, what kind of fix would you recommend?
Yeah, description field comes in handy because you can see Domago is keeping his questions short for easier navigation through the data later on. But with the description, you can always write in details regarding each field. So if something is not clear enough to the field worker, you can then clarify it this way and keep your form short.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say once we filled in this description, then we can add some other fields as well. So we will add a signature. So our field worker needs to sign the form before sending it. Let's also add, the next on the list is a hidden field, which will be, of course, hidden from the collector. So let's just skip it today, and let's use a photo field. So photo field can be used if you want to, of course, take photos while doing the inspections. And you can take photos directly from the mobile data collection app, or you can upload them from the gallery. You can take as many photos as you want to, or you can have multiple photo fields if that's something that you need. So once we've done that, let's add audio recordings. So let's say if you have a lot of text that you need to input, then maybe it's easier for your collector to record some audio, or if you need to just record some sounds from the field, in that case, this field comes in handy. And we can also add QR barcodes, so you can scan them from the field, but today we do not have any QR barcodes, so let's just skip it. And now we are in the section which is called device and user and location. So it's important to note that in those two sections, those fields are not visible to your collector. So those fields are automatically populated, and the only person who can see them is you. And I will now add a username field, which means that the system will automatically recognize which user took and collected some data, and will automatically populate this field. So the collector doesn't need to do anything. And I have some other options, some other fields here as well, like device ID, device model. I'm not going to use them today, but I'm going to use latitude and longitude. So latitude and longitude is always recorded, but I like to add them on the form just so we can have them in like a written down version. And let's also, and in here we also have some other fields like altitude, speed, accuracy, and so on. But let's just use time. So the time is basically a timestamp from your mobile device. So as soon as you hit send and you send some data, the system will recognize what time was it on your mobile device and will automatically populate this field. So if you remember, we used date and time in here as well. But the difference between those two fields is that with date and time, you can manually select some other date and time, while in times field, you cannot select anything. Basically, the system will automatically recognize what is the time and send the timestamp from your mobile device. So this is it basically when it comes to the form creation. I have all of the information that I need. And now I can save this project. So I will click on create project. And now I can see the form preview. I can see all of the predefined values that we have here. I know how this would look now in the mobile app, and I can do some kind of fixes. I can edit the project, or I can just open it. So if we open it, we will see that basically the project is empty. We have an empty map, and because we haven't collected any of the data yet. So what I will do now is I will share my project with Antonia. And there are two permissions that I can give to her. I can give her the permission to only collect the data, only collect new data, or update the existing data. So for this project, I'm going to give her both permissions. And now we will close it. And now I will
leave it up to me to collect the data for you, I suppose. Okay, great. Thank you so much for sharing. And now for you guys to be able to see my mobile screen and what I do to collect the data, I will just activate the screen mirroring so you can see my device. So bear with me for a second while I'm pairing them up. It will only take a few moments. So the mobile data collection mobile app, as I said, is an application that is available and accessible to download from Google Play or App Store, depending on which device you are using. Once the application is downloaded, you can access it with your credentials or with the credentials that your project owner created for you. In this case, Domagoj created my account in his organization, so I can actually collect the data. So as far as the field workers goes, they just need to log in with the credentials that you provided for them. They don't need to worry about setting up the account or anything like that. Once you log in, you are guided to the settings section of the mobile data collection. So before we select a project to work on, I will just quickly guide you through it. The first one is definitely an option to select a project, because with Gis Cloud, you are able to work on multiple projects at the same time. So multiple maps can be shared with me, and I can then just switch in between the project as I go. Of course, it will remember the latest one if I log in after a few days again. Gis Cloud does support offline maps as well. That means that offline work is fully supported, so you are able to download it. Of course, I'm not able to download anything because I didn't choose a project yet, so let's maybe select it first. And here it is, the one that Domagoj just now created for me. So if I go back to the offline maps now, of course, I have an option of downloading for offline work. That's all that is required from you to prepare for the possible offline work. So you have that kind of backup set up if necessary. After that, you also have a couple of options regarding how the app behaves, whether you will be zoomed in after you send certain data, whether you would like to follow yourself on a map as you move around. The arrow then follows you as well as you walk. The option of course, sending the data while in cellular. If you don't want that, you simply click no. And in that case, the data will go into queue until you get back to the Wi-Fi. The photo quality, of course, also can be set up to high or low, depending on your preferences. The track my location option is something that we have for our different solution regarding the, you guessed it, tracking. If you are interested in that, we had previous webinar on that topic and we can share the materials with you. Switch in between languages is also an option which you can choose from, and that's pretty much it. So we selected our project and now we click on the form. Once we are in the form, first thing is that you are able to choose a way that your data is being collected. We have an option of fetching the location by GPS or pinning the location on a map manually. You always receive the accuracy of GPS if you are on that option. But if that's not too good, you can always switch to pinpoint and then select location manually. You are also able to locate yourself. This is my current location, and I can then maybe pan a little bit on a map and something a little bit more precise in regards to location. I click accept, and that is now my set location. I will write in now the survey that Domago created for me. And I'm writing in the name of the street. I will write in the road ID, date of the inspection. Like Domago mentioned, you are able to switch in between dates as well as the time. And then I will select me as an inspector. This is a checkbox where I can select a certain distress, but I will select other. So you can see now that dependent field opening up because I selected other, and the distress will be pothole. And for how serious the issue is, I will then again select hide so you can see the dependent opening up. And here it is. And this is the description for the field. And I will say, I don't know, fix the pothole. ASAP. For the signature, I can sign in a form and I can take photos. Photos can be taken either through album or with the camera. Multiple photos, again, can be taken on a single field, so you don't need to have multiple photo fields. Audio recording is also available here, where you can then, like Domago mentioned, record something for about up to 5 minutes, I would say. And once you are happy with it, you just click send. Data goes through queue. If all is good with the connection, the data will push through. And we are left with a new form. This is the field that we left to be persistent, and it remembers our latest entry, so we don't need to redo that from scratch. So now we can continue with additional ID numbers and everything else that we have. Of course, don't forget to pin a new location. When you are on pinpoint, it will remember the latest one. But maybe we can also use GPS on this case. And again, you go through the survey and report certain issues that you have and send them through for any kind of inspection. Let's use it and let's hit send. And that's all there is to it. The queue, you can see the queue bar. This is where the data goes once you click send. If the internet is good, it will be pushed right through. If not, it will remain in queue while you get back to the internet, and then it will automatically send. Under the map section, we are able to access already collected data, and we can click on the data that we collected and see what's going on here. You can see those hidden fields that are automatically being populated as well, and all other information that I collected. Since Domago gave me update permissions, I'm also able to make edits to the data, not just to the data, but as well to the location. And what I can also do is, if I'm not on site and I'm reviewing already collected data, I can also navigate to the feature. That means that I will get instructions on how to get from my point to the point of interest. And that's all there is to it. I don't want to send any more data through. You get the picture, but let's see what's happening back at the office. So let me just close this, and Domago, can you walk us through? Did the data came through?
Yeah, the data came through. Let's say that I'm in the office and I see the data that you sent to us. So I can click on the data. I can review what you sent. I can open the pictures. Also, I can listen to the audio recordings and so on. I can see this other data that you sent to me. And I'm satisfied with it. So what I would like to do next is I have basically two options. I would like to export this data, and there are two ways to go about with this. So I can create a report out of this and save this report in the form of a PDF file. Or what I can do is also export this as a CSV and then open it in some other software.
But why would you do that?
Yeah, I have everything written down here. So yeah, but also there are, if your needs are more complex and you need something else than some other file formats on how to export your data, then we have a solution for that too. And for that, you would need to use map editor applications. So Antonia, can you open and show us how to use map editor?
Yeah, definitely. So the map editor is our main mapping application, I would say it like that, where you are able to work additionally on the data that's coming through, like analysis and things like that. You notice that the mobile data collection portal is quite limited in its tools and functionalities because we wanted to keep it simple to get you started as fast as possible with the data collection and focus just on that. So for anything else that you would need to do, you can access again your map through the map editor application, the same one that we have. All of our applications communicate together, so you don't need to synchronize anything, or it will appear right here. So in map editor, you are able to like maybe classify the data based on certain values. Let's say we would like to classify based on how big of a problem is. So for high issues, we can then change the icon to be, I don't know, red, or if you have any kind of custom icon that you would like to use instead, you can do that as well. We support import of custom icons. And this way you can more easily differentiate between your data and what's of bigger importance and what's maybe a little bit less important, or maybe you can keep it for later on for any kind of fixes. So you can basically classify your data based on that, so you know, okay, this needs immediate assistance. You can also turn on certain labels so you know what's going on here. But also map editor is used if you need to work on the data collection from the field where you overlay multiple layers, not just one. So we showed you now only how to work and collect the data for one layer, but let's say you have quite complex map where you have additional roads or buildings or things like that, and you would like to overlay all that on top of one map. That kind of setup is actually done through the map editor, where you can end up with a little bit more complex map. Let's use this one for example. This is our Boston roadworks map as well, where we have different information from roadworks, pedestrian ramps, damage on the sidewalks. And this way you can actually overlay all those data sets here for any kind of data assurance and information that you need to then access through the mobile application, and of course collect for each and every layer here as well from the field, or even possibly do updates if necessary, if you are doing some sort of maintenance and you would like to see what's going on and what kind of changes are happening. So you can basically end up with this kind of more complex map. So map editor is a great application for you to do just that. So if you are interested in exploring and learn how you can actually set up data collection project through the map editor, because we will not be showing it today, you can let us know and we can set up one-on-one demo session to go over your use case and walk you through the best possible setup based on your requirements. Okay, so I think that we covered pretty much all there is to it. Sorry about that. So now Domagoj, do you agree? Did I miss something?
No, I think this is it. Yeah, like
okay.
We can go to questions.
Yeah, so now we would like to hear from you. So let me just open up the questions here. So Can we read them?
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to load predefined lists into the application and convert the options of that list into a drop-down list? Okay, yeah, so yeah, you are able to also prepare your predefined lists for adding it to a drop-down. This is done through the map editor, not through the MVC portal, where through JSON you are just able to copy-paste the predefined list and paste it to and use it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see another one. You can import long list of options to build deployable list of or from a CSV file and save those lists for later use in other forms. Yeah, pretty much similar question, but yeah, we do have an option of copy form, copy sections of the form through our JSON in the map editor, where you are basically able to have that kind of setup and copy paste anything that you need to like reuse on different forms on different layers.
Mm-hmm.
Shall I read the next one? When making a field unique, can it compare with current data records when working offline? Well, no. If you are working offline, you have no connection to your database, so it's not possible to run any kind of comparison through the base because you have no connection to it.
And also, I see that we have another question. Can this be used without an active internet connection offline? Yes, it can. So we have an option to download a form or a map and to work on it offline. So yes, it is possible.
Okay, great. Customizable graphical output format of the reports.
I mean, that is kind of possible. So if you want to, we have an option of building custom reports. So if this is something that you're interested in, then you can just let us know how you would like it to look and we can make it for you. Yeah, definitely. We do have that kind of option available, not out of the box for you to use without our assistance, but we do provide that kind of service. Mm-hmm. Okay, can you filter one specific distress type from the checkboxes column when multiple types are entered when you are reviewing the data in the portal or editor? Well, yeah, there is an option of setting that up through our filters as well as the appearance settings. So there are conditions on how you can actually filter out that kind of thing. Also, I think that it is possible through spatial selections as well in the map editor. Yeah, definitely. So we also have another question. Can you predefine locations to where the field data collector goes? Yes, it is possible. So you can use map editor for that. You can set points on a map and then create a form, connect it with that layer and simply share that form with the collector and he can go to that point and that's it. Yeah, he can collect the data for you. And then basically navigate to feature option comes in handy. Yeah, to feature, yeah. So yeah, I think this is it. Let's see. Do we have something else? When this will be integrated into the GIS enterprise system, or is it exclusive for GS Cloud? Well, this is our solution. Our applications and what we do offer is for you to basically export the data collected. We are not locking you into our system if you need to work with your data somewhere else. We also do support integrations to external databases. That means that if you do have like PostGIS database or Oracle database, you can connect for your data what you are collecting to be collected automatically in your base. And we also do support WFS, WMS to use in other systems, so you can collaborate with other GIS solutions out there. Of course, we also have the APIs exposed if you would like to run a certain more extensive connection. Next question we have again, should you refresh your location before you send your data entry to ensure your location is accurate? Or when does it record your lifelong position while you are entering information in the form? Would you like to? Yeah, like you can do that. So you can just simply open a map screen and it will record your last location, last position. But the way how it works is that the app fetches the last location that your mobile device sent. So if this is not up to date, then you can simply open a map screen and click on locate, and it will send the newest location.
Yeah, and I think that the latest entry that is being recorded is the one that you have prior to pushing send button. Mm-hmm. So you can always then refresh to make sure that it's up to date. Okay. Another question, a lot of questions. Okay, can we add descriptive data for each location?
Yes, you can. It's like a simple text field that you can enter, and then the collector can enter any type of data to that. Yeah, that is possible.
Yeah, so we just walk you through all the different field types, but of course you are able to repeat them. You can have like 10 text fields in your form and 10 select lists, whatever it is that you like to have. The data is automatically uploaded when I'm connected again. Yeah, that is correct. The data is automatically updated. You don't need to like push a refresh button or anything like that for each entry. It will automatically be sent. What are the differences with the old form builder? So have you been using Gis Cloud before? Did you have a chance to compare it? The matter is
like in the design, the functionalities are still the same, just like it's more intuitive, user-friendly, and yeah, you will manage to get the hang of it very fast.
Yeah, definitely more easier for getting started. Of course, to repeat on the additional question, the recording will be available. So you will be able to review it. We have time for one more question. So let's use that for this question. Is the timestamp recorded when you send the entry or when the cloud receives it?
It is recorded when you send the entry. So it takes the timestamp from your mobile device. So it's basically the last info that you get from your mobile device. When you click send, then that's it.
Okay, guys, we don't have any more time for your questions. Although we would like to address them all, we are running out of time. So if your question got unanswered, we will address them later on through email. And of course, feel free to send any additional questions through our to our mail. It's info@giscloud.com. We will be happy to schedule one-on-one with you guys, walk you through your everything that you need for your setup. So we will be happy to connect with you. And if I do hope that this was encouraging enough for you to create an account if you already haven't.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, create an account, and we would love to get in touch with you. So if you have any questions, just feel free to write to us. And yeah, thank you for your time.
Until next time, yeah.
Until next time, yeah.
See you on the next webinar. Thank you so much for your time and talk soon. Bye.
Bye.